just mic'd up with Mikie Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got J. Mitch. We got Jackie Boyd.
He tried to jump up, but he might have knocked it in.
Good time, dude. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys will come in and say,
oh, God. So me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there. He's punching me in the stomach. Like, punching me.
Here, is everyone sitting around? Who here thinks Ochinko can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad Jones. 6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Ochinko can practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
On the spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
you heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her and I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Time
Good show.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you gonna bring your chinchilla and your turtle? My dad tell you about it.
The SEC is God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they should.
Players, look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now. Hello. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Friday, October 4th. It is Feel Good Friday here at our home that we share with our friends at Indigo. If you've never heard of indigopapers.com, you should look them up. They're the place that you want to go to get your THC seltzer drinks. They have those in.
Probably working today.
Hey, they're working.
Yeah,
they're working. They got a lot of action. They're busy in here. If you walked in to Rouse's and you've seen these Indigo drinks, buy one. They come in 6-packs, 12-packs. They're really good and tasty. But if you want to go online, you want to buy them online, you go to indigopapers.com. They also have tinctures. Is that how you pronounce it? Tinctures. They have these. These are the pouches, kind of like dip, but not dip. Better than dip. And so they have all your needs that you want to healthier than dip. All the needs that you may want to, that you may want to dabble in.
It's the cheapest drug you can buy.
Also, they have something tomorrow called the CannaFest.
Yes.
Right? Our friend, Lloyd, is going to be emceeing it. It is from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. at Beauvoir Park tomorrow during the day, all day. It's presented by Indigo. Chiba Hut is also one of the sponsors. They feel like that goes hand in hand. But seems like it's good. Look, the weather's going to be beautiful. It seems like it's going to be it sounds awesome. Lloyd's going to be there. Go out, support him. Go out and support our friends at Indigo. Canifest, Beauvoir Park, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. I don't know if Lloyd is going to be emceeing all 12 hours.
12 to 3:30.
12 to 3:30.
Your very gracious host.
That is when he's going to be out there. Go check him out. Go make fun of him if you want to. Go heckle him.
I'll get you kicked right the fuck out.
Go. Oh, I didn't even pick up the ball. I didn't even pick it up. I just knocked it off the table.
Jared got a job just to see that.
Just in time. I didn't even pick it up. I just knocked it up off the table. But go check him out. Beauvoir Park, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Canifest. Lloyd will be there. And if you're not going to be able to go there and you want to check out indigopapers.com for the stuff that they offer, go check them out. But we got a big show for you today. Obviously, a lot of conversation about the college football season. We get an emotional break. LSU fans, we all get an emotional break this weekend. It's a bye week, not just for the team, but for us. We get to take a step back. We get to exhale. And we get to sit on the couch, relax, watch football, watch everybody else struggle or not struggle against the teams that they're playing this weekend. We're going to talk about all of those because the Mik'd Up Parlay is getting back in the winning column this weekend. No, we are. And Lloyd, just because he is Lloyd, he is doing something that is going to have some irony in these bets because of I think he just wants to rub it into my face that he's better. Lloyd is 5-0. We have to give him the benefit of the doubt in this, but we will talk about our picks as we get to go. Jared is road tripping again to Dallas. He is
wherever he is looks incredible.
The beauty of technology, he is on the show via video call. Jared, how was the trip to Dallas? We're gonna throw you right in there. See if
nice little decent early morning drive. Got on the road about 8:30. Pretty smooth. No problems on the way. No traffic. Nothing crazy here. Made it in time to basically right in time to start the show. And I'm here.
You did good.
Family function going on tomorrow, so there we go.
You did good. Oh, look at that. Is that like a movie?
It's in like a movie theater.
Is that like a movie room or like a TV room?
I'm in the media room right now. It's filled with I'm surrounded by black and so the Yinzers, the Pittsburgh people, it's black and gold. It's a Steeler country. I like to call it black and yellow still. That's what I see when I look at it. It's not really black and gold, but it is what it is. So
beautiful room.
Black and gold down there in New Orleans. So that's the difference.
Beautiful room. Lighting looks great on you. Your seat is taken by our guest who's in studio for the first time, I think, ever in the new studio. Our friend Bryce Kuhn taking your spot.
Wow,
little difference in the pigment. Little difference in the pigmentation in that seat right now.
You just gotta set the lighting up a little bit over there. No big deal.
Just a little bit different, but we got a full squad today. A lot to talk about. There's a lot of games that are a lot of football games this weekend that we want to hit on and talk about. It's gonna be a lot of betting conversations because as we were prepping for the show, a lot of money was going out into these bets. We have our Mik'd Up Parlay. Jared was, obviously via text messages helping us with the picks and what he wants to do. But last night there was an NFL football game, Falcons against or Bucks at Falcons, I believe. Bryce is a Atlanta Falcons. He threatened to wear his Kirk Cousin? No.
Bijan Robinson.
It was a Bijan Robinson jersey.
That's fucking criminal that they let him wear 7.
He did not wear it. Is.
It is. It is. I do have an 03 Vic jersey.
Yes.
You shot me a text. We'll accept
I was hoping you'd have at least the Vic or like the Deion, like old school Deion jersey or something.
I got an 03 like white black number with Vic jersey. It's pretty sick.
Wore it done. TJ Duckett, Peerless Price.
I respect that one.
Mike Jenkins.
Yeah, I respect that one.
Keep going. But the Falcons walk off the Bucks in overtime.
Roddy White.
Really cool story with the wide receiver, Hodge.
Yeah.
Came off the practice squad. I think he's had 2 career touchdown receptions in his career. That was the first play he was in, first catch he had of the game.
Yeah.
Ended up being a walk-off touchdown. Took it up, a little slant right over the middle. Took it up, 50, 60 yards. Touchdown, walk-off.
It was only in because Drake London got banged up to play before, too, so that's even crazy.
Yeah. So they win. Bucks are 3-2 now. Falcons are now 3-2. And the Saints are 2-2 with a Monday night football game at the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, that is a tough one. Kansas City hasn't played the type of football that you're used to seeing Kansas City playing. The Saints probably look up and say, we should be 4-0. And I think everybody who watches football, watches their games, will probably say, yeah, you're right, but you're not. You're 2-2. So they go on the road. Hopefully they can go out there and somehow pull off a win on the road and end up 3-2 with a 3-way tie at the top of the division. What?
A little injury report from the Saints. Did not practice. Willie Gay, hand. Taysom Hill, rib. Cesar Ruiz, knee. Shane Lemieux.
Caesar's out for 2 months.
Shane Lemieux, ankle. Peyton Turner, knee. Lucas Patrick, groin. So that's 3.
That's not great. Well, they just signed center off of the practice squad of the New York Jets.
Oh, good. That's where you want to go get him.
Veteran center. They just signed off the practice squad, which does not seem like that's a good sign.
Limited. Demario Davis.
Lloyd, we're a week into the football season, Lloyd. This is not college football like now because the betting is so prevalent in NFL football. Hey, Coach, everybody's on the damn injured list and on the non-practice list and on the limited list. You just get to see it a little bit more in the NFL. Don't freak out too much. It is what it is.
Demario Davis being limited makes you feel better. The fact that he was back out there seems like he's going to be back. Yeah. He's going to be back on the field. Don't love that Taysom was not practicing. Hopefully he can come back.
Multiple broken ribs.
I know, but he played beginning.
I doubt it. Yeah, I doubt that.
Alvin Kamara had multiple broken ribs, fractured ribs. He played. So hopefully, you get him in there. You can do some of the things. Maybe he doesn't have his full repertoire of plays, but hopefully he's out there and contributing. And
A.T. Perry got cut.
A.T. Perry got cut. Okay.
Making room for maybe one.
Making room for me. I do not think that Devontae Adams is going to get traded to New Orleans. It is something awesome to think about and talk about, and it would be awesome. But when you're on your fourth string center, and we've got to figure that part out. It's hard. You can have the best receiving core. If you can't get it to him, that's the issue. But with Clint Kubiak being the offensive coordinator and doing the things he's doing, being creative, the offense has been more efficient. It seems with the first 4 games of the season, if Taysom Hill is in there and they're able to utilize him, it feels like the offense runs a little bit more smoothly and more efficiently. He was out 2 games ago. That was the worst offensive performance of the year. And then he was out in the second half of last game, and the offense kind of sputtered a little bit. So hopefully they can get that fixed and they can figure it out and they can go out and have an upset on Monday Night Football. Remains to be seen. But we will, we'll be there watching with everybody else. This weekend, obviously LSU is.
Real quick, there's been 18 drops with Taysom Hill, 11 touchdowns, 4 field goals, 18 drops without Taysom Hill, 2 touchdowns, 4 field goals.
There you go. Numbers speak. The numbers don't lie, right? That's what they have.
Numbers never lie.
Numbers never lie.
Fantastic ESPN
Are you trying to say that they're in the shit zone this week if he's not there? Is that what you're trying to say?
Mm-hmm. Well, we're trying to say that hopefully they can turn that around this weekend because they're, if they're prepping to play without him, I don't know.
That's what we're trying to say. That's not what Lloyd's trying to say.
No.
They're going to get whopped.
Yeah. But listen, I'll tell you what, I don't bet on the NFL this year, so that's good. I don't have to worry about that. I'm just going to watch it as a fan. I do bet on college football. There's a lot of college football games out there this weekend that are interesting that we're going to be able to watch worry-free as far as, we don't have to worry about going to LSU, wondering if they're going to beat Ole Miss. That's a whole nother week.
Stress-free.
Whole nother stress-free viewing of college football. I think the big one that everybody –
if you got money on it, let's be honest.
I think the big one that everybody is going to talk about or be the most interested in is obviously the Ole Miss at South Carolina game. LSU plays Ole Miss. I say everybody in this area, because LSU plays Ole Miss next week. Obviously, it's a hot ticket. It's a very hot ticket. They don't have many tickets available, apparently. So everybody's watching that Ole Miss game. Ole Miss is coming off of a stinker against Kentucky. Now they have to go on the road. The first of back-to-back road games on the road at South Carolina. Was defense is really good. Defensive line is really good. And they're playing pretty good football. I mean, if you ask them, they feel like they probably should be undefeated. They probably should have beat LSU if the refs didn't get in the way, is what they're saying. I don't agree with that. But they did play. They did.
They can't stop talking about it, dude.
The refs did not give up 17-point lead.
Yeah.
They did. So, but they did play well, and they put themselves in a position to be talked about. It's going to be a challenge for Ole Miss. Our college football expert here, Bryce Kuhn.
Yeah.
What do you feel about that game?
It's quite the title and introduction right there.
Well, you have to realize the company that you're keeping right now. So
Yeah, we're
Says
not the
more
experts.
about where I am than who
Yeah,
I
there
am.
you
There
are.
you go.
Yep.
Look, I mean, we were talking about this too. Kind of a note too. South Carolina's coming off a bye week, so Ole Miss is facing now 2 teams back to back on the road where they've got to face that team coming off of a bye week. LSU obviously being that second team of the equation. Look, I was in Columbia a couple weeks ago, and I talked with someone the other day, and they said whatever you thought that environment for LSU was like, you add in, and a lot of people know Juice Wells that transferred the receiver from
Yeah, that's
South
a big
Carolina
conversation,
to Ole
right?
Miss. Like, yeah, that's a whole thing. This crowd is going to be amped up, and I think that's something that place is already nuts. And I had told LSU fans, like on our message board over at Go 24/7, I said, look, you better be glad this is not a night game. Now, this game for Ole Miss, is this a night game or is it a
2:30?
2:30, 3:30. So it'll get dark where they'll get to do the whole light show and everything they got over there with Sandstorm. It's really, really cool. But really, honestly, I mean,
Look, and Jared said this.
Yeah.
Jared, you mentioned this before LSU went there. South Carolina is a tough place to go and play. It is a really good home field advantage for them. People don't want to give them credit, but you talked about it. You went there. It's a very hard place to play.
Yeah, I'll let Bryce continue going on what he was saying, but I tried to tell y'all that's played there, went there on a visit, and saw that environment and saw what it's.
Oh yeah, you tried to go there. Didn't you want to go? Didn't you almost go there? No. Yeah, you almost went there.
That almost was a day. Yeah. So
you.
I got a good idea of what that place is like, and it's only gotten crazier since then. And obviously, with the addition of Sandstorm, like it's just different. People don't understand it, people don't know it because you haven't seen them as a national powerhouse. That is a tough place to play.
yeah, and look, Beamer ball is something that they really love to talk about. And we saw it, 2 years ago when they beat Tennessee and Clemson in the span of 3 weeks. And, I mean, the stock for South Carolina couldn't have been higher. They've got to figure out the quarterback position. Lloyd, we were talking about this before the show started. I mean, Lenora Sellers at 70 to 75% is better than Robbie Ashford at 100%. I mean, he just gives you something different. Rocket Sanders at 60 to 70, whatever he's really at, is going to give you a better option than whoever else they're going to throw out there. So, I mean, it's going to be something where I think Ole Miss's defense has to stay tested. But, Mikey, we were talking about this when we were kind of looking at, obviously, and I believe that spread's, 9.5?
I think it's 8.5.
8.5.
It's dropped a
It's
point.
dropped down, yeah.
Which is what? Never mind.
Yeah, well, don't spoil it. But but you see Ole Miss and you see what they are. I mean, this to me is going to be a pissed off Lane Kiffin team that wants to go and make a statement. It's kind of how the kind of coach he is, I feel like, after a loss. And like you said too, Lloyd, they can't lose this game.
Yeah,
I mean, you cannot lose this game.
I couldn't see Ole Miss because certainly, even from an LSU perspective, if they do lose, like then you have an Ole Miss team that everybody has kind of pinned before the year, which is why I hate preseason rankings, but I guess you have to do them. But they came in as a highly touted team that I don't think it's a controversial thing to say that they paid for. Like, all these guys came in. Yeah. It's hard to get Jackson Dart back. It's hard to get Juice Wells to come from South Carolina to come to Ole Miss. It's hard to get – who's their other wide receiver?
Trey Harris.
Trey Harris.
To stay.
Trey Harris and Malik Neighbors were on the same football team in high school?
It's ridiculous.
And then I wonder if they were any good.
Come on.
Sounds like a good ball club.
Yeah. Good.
But to get
all the trophy at all?
Well, I think Malik didn't get to play his senior year.
Yeah.
So he did the Jamar Chase before Jamar Chase, or at the same time. But and then you bring in Walter Nolan, all these guys that they brought in, and you look at when does the other shoe drop if they do lose to South Carolina? You start looking around like, why are we all here? We all came together to win a national championship. You brought Jackson Dart back. Like, all of these things are big factors as to why I think Ole Miss maybe got punched in the mouth a little bit against Kentucky, but now you turn around and look and go, okay, if this is like who we're facing and now you've seen it happen once, I feel like Lane Kiffin can kind of dial it up. He got lost a little bit against Kentucky, and the game got away from him. But that said, they were a shanked field goal away from going to overtime.
That's it. And Ole Miss, the line opened at 11.5.
So people are on South Carolina.
It is 8.5 now. Yeah. Majority of the money.
I'll be honest with you, too. Like, I'll drop this little nugget in there as well. The only part that scares me about it is you saw an Ole Miss team at home with a desperate Kentucky team. They feeling like, hey, we need to make something of this. We got beat us out at home by South Carolina. We should have beaten Georgia at home. If we want to make our season something, here's our opportunity to do it. And they went into Ole Miss and beat them, right? So you got to imagine that the South Carolina team thinks the same thing about themselves. Like, if we want to make something of our season, it has to start this weekend. We've seen Ole Miss fold in these type of situations. I just don't know if they're going to do it again.
And if you look at the other side of it, you talk about desperate on South Carolina. If we have to, it's same thing for Ole Miss. Hey, we were supposed to have.
No. Ole Miss is desperate for a win.
Yeah,
Ole
right.
Miss is not desperate to cover. That's the problem.
Oh, cover. Talking about cover.
That's a different
That's what
yeah.
we're talking about. We're talking about the betting side of it. We're mixing that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I 100% think Ole Miss is going to win this. I'm just not so sure about the betting side of this.
Okay.
We'll have that conversation.
We'll have that conversation in a minute.
Here's something for you, too, in that Ole Miss under Lane Kiffin on the road in SEC play is 8-8. I believe 6 of the 8 teams that they have beaten have had losing SEC records. So 2 games they've gone on the road in the SEC.
Who are
won.
they?
The 2 teams they've gone on the road won. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I know they're 8-8 in the SEC on the road under Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, I mean, you saw when they came to
Tennessee?
LSU.
What? They beat Tennessee? Yeah,
when they threw the
Tennessee
golf
that year
ball
they
at
went
him?
up there in the mustard bottle, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So Tennessee's one of them, and I don't know who the other one is.
No, you remember 2 years ago when they came to LSU, obviously Ole Miss was, top 10 team in the country. They're undefeated. They're beating LSU.
Oh, LSU.
No, LSU beat them.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, LSU beat them.
Yeah. And the last year was at Ole Miss.
LSU came back and beat them, and then they rattled off 4 straight losses after that, and kind of limped into the end of the season. But yeah, to your point, like they haven't performed well on the road in SEC environments against teams that are winning.
Yeah.
So you're right, Jared. It should be interesting. I think that I don't think that they're going to get put in a position where they're not going to score points like they did last week. I know LSU had scored some points against Ole Miss. Against South Carolina, and obviously LSU's offense is really good. Mock draft just came out that we shared in our group text. One of the mock drafts, I think it was CBS Sports, has Nussmeier ranked as a 10th mock draft as a 10th overall pick in the draft. So, he's obviously shooting up draft boards. The offense has been playing really well, and so LSU has a good offense. Ole Miss also has a good offense. I can't imagine them being held to 17 points again, but who knows? Who knows? I think they could score, but you have a defensive line in South Carolina that has the opportunity every single play, every single time Jackson Dart drops back. South Carolina's defensive line has an opportunity to to get after him and force havoc and create some turnovers. So that one's obviously the one that we're all looking at. I think another game in the SEC that everybody's interested in is the Texas A&M game. Texas A&M at home is favored by 2.5 against Missouri. You, Jared, have not been on Missouri at all this year. You were right about them last week was it last week or 2 weeks ago against Vanderbilt? They have kind of squeaked by.
I think it was 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks ago. They kind of squeaked by a couple times. They're still undefeated, but they haven't really been impressive. You like them in this weekend, though.
Yeah, I like them winning. I think this is one of those statement games they need. I just see them kind of getting it going in this game, but I don't. Obviously, my mind really hasn't changed on them overall throughout the season. If you haven't really seen them go out there and be super dominant yet, I find it hard to believe that they're going to do that for a long period of time for the rest of the season. But I do think they have it in them to be able to kind of pull it out in this spot right here and kind of get themselves, I guess, going a little bit. So I can see them getting it done here. I'm not a believer in them for the season.
What do you think?
I said this on our show the other night. I said, we know Kyle Field's going to be rocking. Like,
Yep.
we all know that. But the performance
And
on the
rocking
field.
like this.
Yeah, and literally rocking. Yeah, it's
swaying.
that press box actually moves up there. It's nuts.
It's because there's tunnels underneath the stadium.
Conspiracy theories. But you go, the performance on the field has to match the energy in the crowd for it really to have an effect. And I think that Kyle Field's going to be rocking. Kind of to Jared's point, Missouri hasn't dominated anybody. They squeaked by Boston College. They were trailing Boston College for the majority of that game. Vanderbilt, Diego Pavea gave them trouble. Marcel Reed for A&M, I think that's an interesting kind of battle to watch. Can they replicate what Vandy did well? And they probably can, maybe with better athletes. So that's something you have to watch. But like Jared said, this is a statement opportunity. Missouri was a darling coming into the season. Iowa kind of was high on them. I know they lost Blake Baker. I know they lost a lot of their defense to the NFL. But offensively, they had a three-headed monster at receiver. They had to replace their running back. And you get Brady Cook. Brady Cook hasn't been the Brady Cook we thought he was going to be, and maybe he was last year. But this almost feels like a must-win game for Missouri to stay relevant with how weak their schedule is in terms of they want to be an at-large playoff team.
Yeah. Lloyd, what do you feel about that one?
I haven't watched a ton of Missouri football yet, but I feel like Jared was on this pretty early, and I don't know what's changed from last year to this year. I'm talking offensively only, where people were saying Luther Burton's the best returning wide receiver in the country. You have your quarterback coming back. You're coming off a 10-win season.
You lost your running back, who I think that's a
Schrader was a
bigger
beast.
loss.
Schrader was a beast.
Certainly against LSU.
Right.
But it just doesn't feel like it's all come together for Missouri, and that I don't want to say label them as frauds, but it feels like if they're going to stay in the top 10 in the country, this is one of those teams where you look at it that if you're LSU, you start wondering when these other teams are going to start falling out of the playoff picture. Missouri has a chance to do that this week.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Look, I'm not going into the season. I didn't think they were going to be.
No, but like you said, the schedule is
weak,
so easy.
The schedule's so
right?
weak.
And so they put themselves in a position where they potentially can, get through some of these tougher games. Now, this is probably. I don't know what their schedule looks like, but this got to be one of the tougher games on their schedule on the road.
Do they go to Alabama?
I'm about to pull it up right
Okay,
quick.
I think because I think it's like A&M and Alabama are like the 2 road games they have that you're like, okay, that's your opportunity to make a statement as an at-large team.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, it's a weak schedule. I think that's
There's not
gonna
look the SEC schedule this weekend isn't really like you don't have an Alabama, Georgia. You don't have now the Ole Miss at South Carolina obviously is intriguing. Missouri at A&M is intriguing. That's 2 ranked teams. I think the other. Do you have it?
Yeah, I have it. They have so obviously at Texas A&M, big test. UMass the next week,
big test.
Man.
and then Auburn, number 1 Alabama, October 26th.
At Alabama.
Is that
At Alabama.
Okay.
But that's the one that you circle and go, okay, if you can lose one game, that's kind of the game that everybody's been playing with college football and looking at your schedule, certainly in the SEC where you go, okay, if you could drop one there, you should be fine. Then they have Oklahoma. And
That's another one.
It's a little rivalry game, too.
Deep in a defensive-minded team,
Yeah.
Oklahoma's
At home.
defense is pretty solid.
Then
At
they
home.
go at South Carolina, at Mississippi State versus Arkansas. So
Okay, so they got some.
it's a little meat on the bone.
It's not the top tier SEC teams, but like same thing. You have teams that.
Well,
That's the,
yeah. I mean, it is an SEC schedule.
Exactly,
At the end of the day. Like,
exactly.
You weren't going to be able to just moonwalk into a playoff situation. Like, you're going to have to beat somebody that's got a little bit of something to them. But look, you go into this place and like this is going to be a tough test for them, especially like y'all said with Marcel Reed being the quarterback now. You go into this place, you have now. I don't exactly know off the top of my head where Missouri is defensively right now, but if I told you, all I had to do was place a coach on a staff, and all of a sudden you make that defense halfway better than what they were last year, which is exactly what Blake Baker has done to this LSU defense. You got to imagine that losing him has had some sort of impact on that defense there. Now you're going to play against a guy who can run, who's shown the ability to run. They're going to be able to throw it as well, and you're going into a tough environment to play there. That's going to be tough for them, but I do think they get it done there because this is a huge statement spot for them. Like you said, that whole schedule isn't crazy. That schedule doesn't pop. So when you start looking at that schedule, if you're in their building, this is one you have circled. This is one where you say, hey, we got a chance to make a statement right here. And you go out and you try to make that statement here.
Side note, right, because you mentioned Blake Baker and making him better, right? Everybody's, has been up in arms. They've seen progress, but the defense still hasn't been that great. Look, there's a lot of stats out there, right? And some stats I don't understand. This stat is SP+, which is apparently it measures the most sustainable and predictable aspects of football. Okay? Seems like a pretty good stat, right?
Who puts this stat out? Where's this from?
I don't know. I don't know who put it out.
Okay.
Brock.
Let's see who put it out.
Is it Bill Connolly?
Yeah.
Do not know.
He invented it.
I think, yeah.
Don't know.
I should
But
ask that question. We're invalidating it more and more as we go.
SP Plus, I've seen it. SP Plus is kind of like whatever, they have PFF, they have all these other things. But in this stat, LSU's offense of the most sustainable aspects of football is second in the country, right? And their defense is 55th, right? And so whether that stat is like, you can hang your hat on that stat or not, the defense has gotten better. Before the season, you were saying, Jared, that if this team could be a top 50 defense, then they're going to be in a position to make the playoff, and that seems like they're trending that way, right? Mm-hmm. They're going to have, obviously, another challenge next week, but I wanted to have a side note there because you mentioned Blake Baker. You have seen what he's done in 1 year here at LSU, and you can see the progress that they are making, plus all the young talent that they are playing and bringing in. I think that's going to be a whole nother level to it next year.
He's behind a paywall on ESPN Plus, Bill Connolly.
Is that the SP
I hate paywall sites.
Me too.
I work for one.
Yeah. It's just so frustrating.
Unbelievable. They're figuring out the way to get around it. I mean, they figured out the way that everybody was getting around it. The show reader.
That, yeah.
You can't do the show reader anymore.
Around it too. He just uses Mikey's login.
That's right.
But I don't have all the payroll accounts. I don't have all of them. But you used to be able to go show reader and see it, and now can't do that anymore. They figured out that trick. Yeah, they figured out that trick. But the last SEC game I want to talk on the slate that I think is interesting before we go to some of the other college football games, the Tennessee-Arkansas game. Obviously, Tennessee is really good. Their defense, and Jared said this in our text. He said, "I think their defense is more impressive and better than their offense." Right? And it's hard to disagree with them. What they've done defensively this year has been pretty impressive. Now they go on the road at Arkansas. Arkansas is a 14-point dog to them. Interesting matchup because Arkansas has been playing pretty decent football, right? Their quarterback has been, he's young, but he's been playing pretty well. The public is pretty much split on the money in this. Like they're about 56% of the money is on Tennessee. To me, that's an interesting game. I don't know if Tennessee covers the 14, but I'm not touching it. I just think it's interesting to look at.
Tennessee to me.
Yeah, this is one.
Or go ahead, Jerry.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Tennessee to me is. I can't see him. I'm looking around. Yeah, Tennessee to me this is the most balanced team that Josh Heupel's ever had. I mean, obviously, a couple years ago when they had Hendon Hooker and they had that offense high flying, they couldn't really stop anybody, and that was the big problem. They arguably, you could make the argument that they might be the most balanced team in the country based off what they've done so far this season. I mean, they have dominated teams defensively, dominated them offensively. I like Tennessee to win this one, but Arkansas, we were just talking about this, guys. Like when LSU has to go up there, I feel like everyone's kind of overlooking, like, oh, you could lose this. Going up there is a tough place to play. It's a weird, funky place to play. Taylor Green, Sam Pittman seems they've rejuvenated that. I mean, this is a guy who probably should have been fired at the end of last year. Sam Pittman.
Lloyd's been screaming for it for 2 years.
And literally, I mean,
right.
You could make the argument he may have saved his job, especially when they beat Auburn and kind of, won a couple games they probably shouldn't have. So I like Tennessee to win this. I think Tennessee's a legitimate title contender, and we'll have to see. Obviously, when they play Georgia later in the year, they play the Alabamas of the world. You get a better read on it. But this defense for Josh Heupel, Tim Banks is their defensive coordinator. They've done a very good job stacking talent, and what they're doing in Knoxville is pretty impressive.
Yeah, dude, this is the beauty pageant in my mind for Tennessee. I fully expect them to win this ball game. I'm not saying that I don't, but you got a quarterback that can create problems on the other side of Taylor Green. That team, more than you think, in Arkansas has been in some games this year, and they just have not found a way to win. I think when you look at the Tennessee team, everyone thinks Nico Yemaleva. You should because he's really good, but you're not seeing when it comes to that orange and white. What you're seeing this year isn't going to be the best version of Nico. But what they have on that defensive side of the ball to match with the talent and everything that he can do as well, I think is being overlooked. And it might actually be the better part of that team. And I'm a huge Nico fan at this point, right? So when I think about this I expect them to be able to win this game, but I do think we'll get a chance to say, like, who is this Tennessee team, like, legit? Because this is the second time you get to see them go in against a quality opponent, and now we're starting to kind of get a real feel. Like, you go into Oklahoma has a really good defense, so you don't really know what you got out of that offensive side and what kind of performance they put up over there. This defense is not as strong, right? So we'll get a chance to see a little bit more out of that offense in Tennessee this week, but as a whole, as total, you get to see, all right, what kind of team do we have here? And then that's what I'm looking forward to seeing this one.
Wow, what a move by you to go with the full name.
Yeah, that was bold. That was bold.
That was clearly on purpose.
Can you say it again?
Yeah, my live.
I mean, look, I'm not even attempting it, but that's
nice.
It's more of the confidence that he has behind
right,
it.
I don't know if he's saying
he
it
could
right.
be completely butchering it, but we don't know, and we're not going to question it because we can't say it.
Right. That's great. I mean, you went for it. I'm like, damn, he went for the whole name there. That was great.
He kind of sped through it.
Gotta spit it. Gotta spit it. Baby. I got all this.
Yeah. Jared, I want to ask you this because I did see this floating around, and you guys as well. Is there an argument that Nico's the most talented quarterback in the country? Like in terms of God-given talent?
Yes.
I think he might be.
Yes. I think
argument, like in terms of just like everything he brings to the table, I think he is.
Hey, he's a freak of an athlete, man. And that's why I say, like, don't get me wrong, he played a little bit last year at the end of the year. Just a bowl game, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah.
Redshirt freshman of the year this year. He's got next year and then possibly another year to sit here and do his thing. he is going to get so much better and so much more comfortable in this offense. And when he does, I don't want to be the team that has to go against him and play because it's going to be freaky. But, yeah, there's an argument to say that he's probably the most athletic quarterback that there is in the country. Go pull up that man's highlights of him playing volleyball and him just spiking from God on top of people's heads. Like, go pull that up.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like, oh, my God.
No doubt.
Yeah,
I think, I think he's on the – I think he probably is number one. I think it would be him. You'd have Milrow up there as far as just freakishly God-given talents.
Yeah.
But dude, the way the ball comes out of Nico's hand, it's like it
pops.
It is pretty too. It's smooth, and it comes out like a rocket ship.
Yeah.
No, I've been super impressed with him. And look, they got a defensive end over there at Tennessee that's a baller.
Yeah, he was on like preseason. Like he was like the preseason =1 overall player.
Yeah, projected like top 10, top 5.
Preseason everything. Yeah.
He was the projected #1 overall pick going into the year.
Yeah,
I think that's cooled off, but I think he's like a top 15, top.
Yeah, I mean he's a first rounder.
Yeah.
You know, and so they have the dudes there. That should be interesting. It's a 14-point spread. What do you think they cover?
I'm going to go with yes, honestly. Yeah, I think they will cover.
Tennessee covers.
When they do cover, that's when I think the conversation about them, like legit title contenders really starts to pick up. Like right now, everybody knows they're really good. Right now, everybody like really thinks like, hey, like I kind of think this Tennessee team's a top 5 kind of like. I think the conversation picks up after this week.
And I think that you kind of had that conversation about Tennessee after the Oklahoma game, where it was their first real test, and Oklahoma's defense is good, and you saw them kind of get out of there with the way that, like, okay, you could play this style of football too, where it wasn't all just finesse. It was very much like, okay, we can play.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, you got to see, like, the defensive side of it, and that's why I kind of mentioned the offensive side, because if the offensive side goes into this game and they pop and they ball, and you know the defense can do that, you're like, okay, this is different. They can beat you this way. They can beat you that way. This is a scary ball club. That's why I think it really starts to kick up after this week if they go in there and take care of business.
And I think it's cool a little bit because they're coming off a bye, like out of sight, out of mind after Georgia, Alabama, and you're like, okay, like you just had that was probably the biggest game of week 4 for college football was Tennessee, Oklahoma at Oklahoma. But as the college football season goes, you just kind of out of sight, out of mind, and then I think this is a real potential chance for them to assert themselves as one of the premier teams in college football, at least this year.
Yeah, no doubt. There's look, the slate of SEC games is interesting this weekend. It's not, it's the best, but it's good. It's a good. There's a lot of really interesting games around the country. They don't have like this huge marquee matchup. Obviously, College Game Days at Cal for the first time ever, which I cannot wait. Marshawn Lynch is the guest picker.
Oh, it's gonna be amazing.
Marshawn Lynch is gonna be with McAfee and the boy. It's going to be.
What do we think Saban's reaction?
Awesome.
Like, can Saban handle that?
I think he's gonna. I think
Saban amazing.
Saban's been great.
He has been phenomenal.
Yeah, Marshawn's.
Hey, here's the question: Will they have to censor anything on
oh my God!
On College Game Day tomorrow morning? That's the real. I wish you could bet on that. That's the real question. Is anything gonna have to be censored tomorrow morning?
1,000,000%. Like.
I mean, he's coming in on the golf cart, no doubt.
Oh, he definitely is entering on the golf cart.
Without a doubt. Look,
and he's at his crib, too. Like, you couldn't get him to change when it wasn't that.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be very entertaining. Another interesting game, right? I mean, that's an interesting game. That's going to be entertaining to watch for the game day purposes. The Miami conversation, though, Miami's favored by 10 going there. It's a long road trip.
Yeah.
Miami kind of got a little sloppy last week.
9:30 start Eastern time.
Yeah.
That's a long time to sit in the hotel room.
Yep.
Long time to sit in the hotel room and think about it.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's why it's not going to be in the mic'd up parlay. But one of the other games that I think is very interesting that I really like and I'm interested in watching is Iowa at Ohio State. Right? Ohio State is – they're kind of moving along, doing what they need to do. Iowa's scoring more points than they have in the past. Iowa's defense, they've given up more points than they had in the past, but they're also scoring more points. Their defense obviously is going to be competitive. They're 3-1. The spread for this is 18 points.
I think that's too many.
I think that's too many. I took Iowa plus 18. I really do. I think Iowa's going to make it ugly. I think they're going to make it their type of football. I'm not sold on Will Howard. I'm not.
What's his status? Because he got hurt last week. Like, is he 100%? Because I think that's going to play into it.
I'd assume, right? Plus, 18 point
points is
spread
a lot.
with your backup quarterback is a lot.
Now, look, there's no Cooper DeJean, so, I don't know who's going to guard Jeremiah Smith. That kid's a freak, too.
Yeah.
They have another white that plays corner at Iowa.
He's just a white? Is
Just
that
a
what you
white?
said?
Yeah, I'm sure when he lines up, you'll be like, whoa, that's the guy I'm talking about.
That's a white, yeah.
What are you doing so far outside the hashes, buddy? But he could go.
Slide back in here, pal. Yeah.
They're breaking the mold in Iowa.
Oh, jeez. 18's a lot of points.
18
though.
is a lot of points. I don't know if Will Howard's playing. Even if he is playing, I haven't been sold. I don't know. I wasn't sold on him.
Yeah.
Kansas State's better without him.
Avery Johnson kid's good.
And Avery Johnson's good. So I haven't been super sold on him. A lot of people are. People like him in the NFL draft, but I don't know. He's better. They think he's better than Kyle McCord, who's at Illinois. I'm just joking. Syracuse.
Oh, nice. You're that confident.
Yeah.
I knew he was at Syracuse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still need for a
We just didn't know last week.
What do you feel about that game, Jay?
Yeah, I'm interested to see that. Like, I'm with you on the Will Howard situation. Look, another year being able to play quarterback and kind of get things going, I think is helpful for him. But I'm not completely sold on it. So this is a big chance against a traditionally very strong school defensively. Can he, kind of keep going? And to Bryce's point, if you haven't gotten to see any of the highlights or actually watch Jeremiah Smith play, good Lord. Like, I think he is the second coming and maybe honestly better than at that time Julio Jones at that time. Like, he is impressive, dog. And he is a unit. Like, he looks like DK running down the field.
Speaking of DK, how about that picture?
6 white corners on the
How about that picture at Monday Night Football when DK is talking with Megatron?
Yeah, that should let you know exactly why. I think it was the Saints at that time, right? Chose to say, hey, man, I know he's lined up all the way out there on the sideline. Let's go ahead and throw 2 dudes out there on the line and jam him up like he's a gunner.
Yeah.
Like he's a gunner.
Calvin Johnson was different, though.
He's 6'6".
Different.
Like, easy 6'6", maybe bigger. Maybe
and
6'7".
DK's in cleats. DK's in cleats. Just don't forget that.
Right. Wild.
And DK's not small just to begin with.
No, DK is not small human being. He is a big man, and Megatron made him look like a small man.
It's crazy.
Smaller.
He could still go if he wanted to.
They didn't call him Megatron for nothing.
What an awesome nickname.
That someone
it's one of the best
embodies and
nicknames
fits.
Ever.
There it is, bro. And then now imagine that form, that shape, in a helmet and shoulder pads looking at you. Oh, dog, what on earth is this?
Wild.
And think about that guy came from a triple option offense in college.
Right. Him and Larry Fitz.
Wild.
And then they said, let's go get that other Demaryius Thomas guy too. I think we can do some Calvin Johnson like things with him. Meaning we can crack on the safety a little bit. We can kind of block the backside D in a little bit.
Isn't that wild, dude? Back then, like, you had the offenses obviously were not like they are now. You didn't have a lot of people throwing the football, but like you had to go
Georgia
get
Tech
guys.
probably threw
You had
it
to
the
go
least.
get guys from Georgia Tech, right? That
Yeah.
were in the triple option offense. You had to go get teams. You had to go and evaluate these wide receivers when their route tree is not as developed as it is, and like it was a kind of a. I mean, that's why the wide receiver.
I mean, look, I get it.
Position is so advanced now.
I get it from like a Georgia State. I mean, a Georgia Tech standpoint. If I'm running triple option and I'm going to put a receiver out there, one, I would love for him to be fast, but I would also love for him to be physical in the sense of, can he crack a linebacker? Can he crack a safety? Yeah, I think somebody that's 6'6" or 6'5" and 230 pounds can. Yeah, I like him. I'm going to go get him. The better question is what did you tell him? Because I'm sure he wanted to catch the ball. How on earth did you get him in the building?
Imagine if the portal was prevalent then.
Oh, God, I was just seeing all of these things.
Right.
Wow.
He'd have been at Ohio
NIL?
State yesterday.
Yeah.
Reggie Ball ain't walking through that door.
Yeah, no shotty last.
Well, Reggie Ball's probably staying there. Yeah. Throwing the ball away on 4th down. At the end of the game, he's probably staying there.
He's trying to find Megatron.
Hey, does Billy Football lose his job this weekend? Does UCF beat Florida?
Oof.
UCF's like the best running. I think the second best running team in college football.
That's because they got old man KJ out there still doing his thing.
Yeah, he's still doing it. Just hand it off. Don't throw it anymore, KJ. Just hand the ball off.
He's part of the rushing attack, dude.
Yeah. Hand it off and run.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, hand it off and run. Don't throw it.
Run for 326 a game.
I think they could embarrass Florida. I don't know if it happens, but I think they could embarrass them. I don't.
You're either gonna get. I feel like you're either gonna get one side or the other, right? Like you just came off of playing Colorado, and you go into this game where it's like, hey, which UCF are you gonna see? One that's kind of pissed off, or one that's kind of feeling sorry for himself?
Yeah. I don't know.
Because you got to keep. We were talking about this before. You got to keep it in mind. Billy Napier, Florida. They play Tennessee next week. Are you breaking in a new coach and, like you mentioned, a new OC and a new head coach going? I don't think they're going to fire him until like kind of towards the latter part of the year if they get rid of him.
And then I was going to ask if Florida State loses, do they get rid of him? I was like, no, they're not going to get rid of him. No. I think he's got this year. I mean, the 15
last year bought him this year.
Yeah,
they've just missed horribly. Everything that went right for them in the portal last year has gone the exact opposite this year.
Yep. That's the dangers of the portal.
Yeah, I think if Billy gets fired, here's the thing, dude. I think if Billy gets fired, it's still going to be quote unquote earlier than later. I just think at this point in the year, there's really nothing to gain at this point of the year because you can't see the writing on the wall anywhere else. Like there's so much time left. But once you start getting to the back end of October, then that makes a lot more sense. Like we're 4 or 5 games into it. Like you rip off a 3-game stretch, you're damn near bowl eligible. So like there's really no reason to do it yet, even if you think, hey, this is the move. There's just not enough reason to do it yet because you can't get enough of the landscape that's even outside of your own school to see who's going to be available, who's opening up, who's still losing, who's looking to go somewhere else. There's so much more left in the season to go that I just don't think that there's much of a need to do it right now, even if you think this is for sure the move.
No doubt, right? And look, they're 2-2. If they beat UCF, they end up being 3-2. You keep him there. You have that 5-game stretch. That's the most impossible stretch of any team in college football. And like, you don't want, if you're going to fire him, and even if you have it in your mind, you're already going to fire him, and you just keep that to yourself. And you don't want to get rid of him and have this shit show when you have to go through that schedule.
People will start dropping off the team.
Right? You gotta keep him there to keep things steady until
DJ Lagway redshirt.
Right.
Yeah. No doubt.
And I mean, think about the staff that he brought in. He's hired almost 60 some odd coaches. Like it's going to be a total. If they fire him, it's going to be a total. Like we're redoing everything that we thought. A
lot of money.
A whole lot of stuff that has to go right, and you don't even know who.
I mean, you gotta. But say respectfully, you got to imagine some of these assistants already like, hey man, put a good word in for me. Hey,
they're texting their buddies elsewhere. They're texting, saying, hey,
I don't know.
What do you think's going to open up or something like that? The writing's on the wall.
Yeah,
unless they get beat,
like thrown out there already.
Unless UCF goes in there and beats them. I'm not saying I think this is going to happen or anything like that, but unless UCF wins this game 35-7. I mean, and Florida looks terrible.
Doesn't get off.
Doesn't get off the bus.
They gave up. You can see they've given up. To me, I don't think he gets fired this week because I think they're going to get destroyed when they play Tennessee next week. Yeah. But we'll have to see. I don't know.
All right, let's talk a little gambling. We kind of talked about it a little bit.
On the gambling note, real quick, I'll throw this in just while I'm looking at it. The Florida defense, opponents' rush yards a game are 231 yards a game. They're 121 in the country.
Dear God.
UCF runs for 323 yards a game.
So UCF doesn't need to throw the ball.
No.
That's not a good combo. That's not ideal.
Hey, over under a 2-hour and 15-minute game.
Yeah, that's a great call.
It's going to be an Army-Navy game.
They missed it.
That is not.
It's going to be an old school ball game right here. Hey, the studio, if there's somebody covering this game, the studio might have to kind of go ahead and fill for the back half until the next game starts or something.
Yeah, that doesn't.
Why don't you let some guys kick on the field?
That is not.
Give away some gas.
Get the promotion team out there.
That's not something that's got a give type thing. That's boy, you are playing right into their strengths.
Oh God, yeah.
That's not good. Okay, I like UCF in that.
Styles make fights, baby.
I like UCF in that. After that,
yeah.
Maybe they'll get some motivation. Florida will get some motivation or something.
It's hard to be good at something that you're not 121st at.
No doubt. We saw it last year.
Even
at LSU.
Respectable.
It's
not even.
You're not. You can't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, how many Division I FBS teams are there?
133, I think.
Nah.
They're not the worst.
They're not almost.
There's
there.
definitely 121. Can't be many more after.
All right. Well, staying on that conversation, what do we like? Right, we're gonna get to the mic'd up parlay. Jared, do you like any games before we get to the parlay and what we like?
The ones that just were off on the outside looking in.
Yeah, or that you bet
Yeah,
that's not going to
just
be.
on the outside looking in. I love it. I don't want to put it on there just because of how high the points are, but I still love this one. The Texas Tech at Arizona, like both of these squads score, dog.
Yeah.
Arizona's got one of the best receivers in the country. Texas Tech, go take a look. That offense scores there. I mean, they've done that for a while there anyway. It's an over-under sitting at 64 or probably around that. I love it. If I was just betting it on my own, yeah, I'm going to go after, even though it's aggressive as hell. That's probably the one that I look at that I'm like, this is hitting.
I like the -5 on that too. Actually, it's at Arizona. I like that too. Arizona's coming off a big win last week.
I went back and forth, and I'm like, give me this one because I feel like this one's more of a sure thing than the -5 on that one.
You got another one you like? Another outside looking in?
Well, that one. I mean, just because the points are so slow, and I think Missouri's going to actually it's a statement game for them. That 2.5 that Missouri's catching over there, I think is beautiful because I expect them to win this game anyway.
Yeah. Lloyd, what about you?
I'm actually going the other way. I'm going A&M in that game.
Wow. I love that.
I
love that.
Yeah, I haven't seen Missouri really do anything, and A&M has been in competitive ball games almost every time they've played. Exactly. Yeah. So now that A&M has played, go ahead.
No, I was about to say I feel like if we want to believe in them, this is one that you need to make us believe in, which means you just need to get out of there with a win. So that's why it's sitting there at 2.5. I'm like, oh yeah, because I expect them to kind of come out of this thing with a dub.
So I'm looking to see who Missouri has played up to this point. They get in a dogfight against Vanderbilt 2 overtimes.
Boston College,
which impressive win because BC was rolling there for a second.
Yep, that was our team for a minute.
Yep.
Now we got a new team.
Yeah, got off the station at the right time.
Now we got a new team.
And they beat Buffalo and Murray State. So that's why I think it's not the same thing that Texas A&M has done, where they have played a pretty tough schedule up to this point. Where say Florida, if you like it or not, they played Notre Dame, played them close. Then you played Bowling Green. Arkansas was a big game in a neutral site venue where they were able to win. They probably shouldn't have won, but were able to squeak it out. I just think that kind of test in a game that will probably play similarly, I think that they have enough gusto to be able to pull a quote-unquote upset. I did take it money line.
Do you
How
have
many
any
losses A&M got?
What?
1 or 2?
One.
A&M 1 or 2 losses?
Won the Notre Dame game.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. Yep.
Lloyd, what do you like? You got a few that you like?
I put in a little side parlay where I did A&M money line, Tennessee -13.5, and UCF. All the games we just talked about. I really over here looking at the internet and had decided this is starting to make a lot of sense.
Okay.
So I did all of those 3 teams together. So A&M
Did you
versus.
tease any of them down?
No, straight.
Wow.
I did money line on A&M and UCF, which that's only 2 points, so
Yeah.
I don't let it count as a tease. I did look to see if it was an option. It was not.
Of course you did.
But I like all of those. Everything that we laid out, I thought it started to kind of add up a little bit, and I think that.
So you did that on the show as we're talking it?
Yeah. I just put it
Okay,
in.
nice. Good for you.
Thank you.
Good for you.
Good for you, dude.
That's
That's it.
those are the 3 that I'm looking at, and I think there's probably some more out there, but I like all of those as to just SEC.
Yeah.
Be able to watch it after I'm done at Beauvoir Park, and then I'll cozy up next to the television with some
There you go.
hot
Seltzers.
whiskey.
Some CHG
Yeah.
seltzers.
We have to go up
Yeah.
a little bit.
We're working
Red
on
Bull
we're,
vodka.
we're working on one
Yes.
to make you go up and feel good same time.
Illegal in 50
I
states.
like the Iowa Ohio State game. That one I like a lot. I like Iowa +18. I also love.
You're not gonna tell us why. You're just gonna tell us you like it.
I told you earlier.
That's bullshit as hell.
I told you earlier. I like that Iowa Ohio State
Don't
game.
you love when people give you gambling advice? Just trust me.
I don't believe in.
I know all.
I thought we explained this already. I don't believe in Will Howard. I think Iowa is playing pretty good football. I think they're scoring more points. I think they're going to be able to keep that game within 18 points.
I agree.
I think 18 is a line. That's a big line. I really like that line. I also love Tulane at -17.5.
UAB's not good.
UAB is not good. Navy just absolutely boat raced UAB. Trent Dilfer has said that they are not Alabama, which I don't think anybody was ever confused them for Alabama. And Tulane's playing really good football. Tulane is a really good football team. They're playing really good football. I like that line at 17.5. Like, of course, there's more that I like, but that one, those are the other two outside of what I'm going to talk about in the mic'd up parlay. What you got?
We talked about this one. Oklahoma State minus 2.5
like that one too.
against West Virginia. Oklahoma State's they've been kind of disappointing. I think we could say. We thought I thought they were going to be kind of maybe the Big 12 representative. They haven't run the ball as well. Ollie Gordon hasn't looked like what he looked last year, but that's another sneaky environment. Like go Pokes. I'm taking Oklahoma State.
West Virginia's got to travel out there. Maybe this is the game.
West Virginia amidst travesty.
Right. They got a lot of stuff happening over there.
So am I betting on the Hurricane? Is that what?
You're betting on Team Helene.
Oh God,
you got no heart.
All right, here's one. You and I are both on this.
Okay.
Stanford money line.
I do like that
against Virginia Tech. So Virginia Tech just comes off an emotional roller coaster. Obviously, in Miami, last Friday was a Friday night
game.
They won. You won. You lost.
You lost.
You won.
No clue.
No, you lost.
I still don't know if they think they won or lost.
Cashed in that favor with the ACC real quick.
ACC
we got
said
one.
we have to get a playoff representative.
And it's going to be Virginia Tech.
No. So Virginia Tech's got to go out there. Stanford's not a bad football team.
No.
Stanford's
got a really good wide receiver.
Very good receiver who's probably going to get picked up in the portal from somewhere. But he is I like them at home. So I'm going that's my upset pick.
And that's what Virginia Tech's got to go all the way out to Stanford.
Yeah.
Right?
I feel better about that than I do feel about
I don't know
Cal
where we're
Miami.
at, but you know what I mean. East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the map. It's this way.
Well, I know, but you're looking at the map that way.
If
I'm looking at the map this way, it's opposite.
If he says this way, then that way's right.
That way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot. Yeah. So I like it's +8 is the actual line. So I'm with you on that one. That's the it's the big dog of the week.
Yeah. I like that.
Get the shirts out.
Big dog of the week.
Also,
You like that?
Interesting that Michigan's a dog on the road.
That one was
weird to me. That was weird to me. Michigan, I've got it at -2.5 or +2.5. Michigan.
Let me ask y'all this.
At Washington.
Let me ask y'all this because the ACC is
trash.
The national conference, apparently.
Yeah, the All Coast Conference.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. You didn't make that up though. Somebody else. You saw it from somebody.
I saw that somewhere. Yeah. I'm not that smart.
Yeah.
2.6 GPA.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yes, sir.
You fool a lot of people. Math is hard.
UCLA, obviously, they're not great. They go on the road to
Penn State.
The line is 28.5 points. That just sounds like a lot of points for me.
It is. What do you mean it sounds like it is? I definitely saw that one. I'm like, man, God. And I want you to think about how many times you saw Penn State play legit ball clubs and they beat them by 28.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I get it. This was a little bit different. The offense is better. New offensive coordinator, and they passed the smell test so far. I'm just not. I ain't doing it. I ain't on it.
They don't smell that good.
I mean, here's the deal. They're 28.5 points. If Penn State beats them 38-10, which
solid win.
That's a blowout win, right? Penn State doesn't ever feel like the team that's going to beat a team by 35 points.
I just don't see Penn State scoring 40 plus. And you can clip it, and maybe they win 52-5. I don't know how they're going to get to 5 points, but maybe that happens.
Safety and a field goal.
Little field goal. What do you mean, little field goal safety?
Field goal safety action. But I don't know. If Penn State puts up 40 points, to your point, that would surprise me.
Yeah, that's one too. I'll probably put some money on that one too. 28.5. That's a lot.
Because I know they're going. Not 40 points. You basically got to shut them out.
Yeah, and I don't think. I mean, Ethan Garber's he'll find somebody.
They'll have touchdown
somebody.
or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 10 points maybe. Yeah. Something. But maybe not.
I can't wait to see some of these lines on some of these California teams got to go to these Big Ten teams in November, late November.
Yeah.
When it's 41 degrees and raining.
And I think that's part of the reason. I think that's part of the reason why it's 28.5 points, because you're going from UCLA all the way over there to Penn State. The weather's going to be a little bit crispier than it is over there in California. So that's a lot of points. All right.
I'm ready for your.
Yeah. Let's talk about the mic'd up parlay.
One more game.
Okay.
That I think just to put on the docket. I don't know
just
if
a little cherry on top.
A little sprinkle.
Rutgers, Nebraska.
I know. I know.
Rutgers covers very well.
They're undefeated.
I know.
And
at Nebraska.
I think Nebraska is obviously the sexy pick with the quarterback.
Favored by 7.
Shiano's still up there chopping wood. And he's ready to start a fire.
They're ready for a 7-5 season.
Yeah.
Up there at Rutgers, baby.
The line opened at 5.5. It's at 7 now.
Rutgers +7?
Yes.
A full touchdown.
Feels like a lot.
The money is on Rutgers.
Yeah.
Ain't sniffing it, man.
No, but I'm just saying, like I said, I probably won't bet it, but I'm interested to watch it.
Yeah,
Rutgers is undefeated against the spread, right?
They're undefeated overall.
Yeah.
They're undefeated overall.
4-0.
Yeah, they're 4-0.
Who have they played? Anybody?
They have played. They beat Washington, who is a favorite.
Yeah.
40.
That's a weird one.
That Michigan-Washington
And they
spread
beat
makes no
Virginia
sense.
Tech. This is a team that's
I mean,
tested.
Virginia
like,
Tech's not
baby.
great.
yeah, but you saw them play Miami like they're a football
right.
team.
You're right. They are a football team. They do a lot of
They
things.
suit up.
They suit up, but Rutgers, I wouldn't. If you line these like before if you didn't have the score and you saw like Rutgers, Virginia Tech, you go Virginia Tech.
Yep.
Washington, Rutgers, you go Washington. Well, you'd be over.
Greg Schiano, dude.
chopping wood.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can't bet against Schiano.
Ray Rice ain't walking through that door. Maybe the
He's
elevator.
probably good. He's probably happy that he's not walking through the door.
I won't be watching it like Lloyd, but I'll definitely check the box scores after.
Yeah, it may be on the four. It may be on the 4 box. You know, on YouTube TV, the little 4 box, and then whenever the other game's on commercial, maybe just go on that. Just not even click it though, just so you can hear the volume.
A little Gus Johnson.
Just a little volume of it. Not. I don't want to have
It
the
never
big
gets
screen.
my volume. Yeah, it never gets the volume.
Yeah. All right. Mic'd up parlay of the week. We are 3-2 on the year. We had a 3-game winning streak, and we should have had a 4-game winning streak if it wasn't for me. And that's my fault. I apologize about that. And
What was your pick last week?
I picked Ole Miss
Oh,
minus 16. Yeah, it was not good.
That's tough.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
you should have heard the voices in the room that
I-
were saying maybe not.
I talked myself into it, and Lloyd's acting like he's saying maybe not. Lloyd says, "Oh, I don't mind that. You should take that one. I'm gonna take Indiana, which was my other pick that I wanted to take."
This was after 30 minutes of deliberation where he did say, which
I
I,
like-
think
What was my first pick of that week?
that's what I was about to say, but
Yes.
we went back and forth on this. I tried my best to deliberate, but after 30 minutes of I'm going Ole Miss, I think I like Ole Miss. I was like, you should like Ole Miss. Go ahead and take it because if they had won and I had talked him out of Ole Miss, I would not hear the end of it. Which is why in this week's parlay, guess who makes it on the ticket? Ole Miss is back. minus 8.5. My pick of the
Your
parlay.
pick, not my pick.
Yes. Give me Ole Miss. We saw what they had. Now we'll see what they really are.
Okay, so why?
Because
Just because of me? Because you're just doing it in spite of me?
it is a bit of a spite play, which sometimes works in gambling, but I think you saw what Ole Miss, I think they finally had their first test. It was against the Kentucky team, and people are going to say South Carolina very much resembles Kentucky, can put you in a phone booth and beat you up. I think Ole Miss, after that test, realized, like, okay, we have to change a few things. And what I really think happened is that Lane Kiffin can scheme up South Carolina. I think he'll be able to get out of some of those looks that happened against Kentucky where I feel like the game was moving very fast, and then Kentucky hit big play after big play when they don't have an offense. South Carolina also not very good offensively. The main reason, aside from you, is I think everybody and their mothers on South Carolina because of how the Kentucky game played. South
You
Carolina
love going
beat
against the
Kentucky.
grain.
Yes.
You do like doing that.
Everybody's on them. I think this is a chance for Ole Miss to get right, win by 10, 14, and then get out of there, and then everybody circles LSU Ole Miss next week.
I like that. Okay. All right.
Not
let's-
16.5, that's for sure.
It's not 6. It was 16.
Oh,
The hook wasn't there.
would that have mattered?
No, would not have mattered.
That's
Not-
okay.
Actually, maybe.
Overtime?
Maybe it would have changed me. Maybe it
Nice
would have
try.
changed my mind. If it was 16.5, I wouldn't have taken them.
Yeah,
It was
one more
16.
possession.
That's it. You never know. All right. So, can you put the graphic back
I'm
on there?
going back to the graphic.
Okay. Actually, Jared, you want to go first? Since you actually, we're going backwards. We'll go backwards.
Yeah. I'll hit him with this one.
Okay.
So we're looking at a defense that's given up over 300 yards a game. You're looking at an offense who's a sneaky, nobody knows it, top 10 offense in the country, averaging almost 50 points a game at 48.8 and averaging over 500 yards a game. You're looking at Indiana favored by 13.5 at Northwestern. I get it. It's somewhat of a little bit of a rivalry, I guess, if you will. I'm taking that all day. Indiana's been sneaky, man, and they have put up some serious points. That offense has been humming this year. Look, they've scored 31, 77, 42, 52, 50, 45. 42. I'm taking this one. I think this is a slam dunk pick right here. I love it.
Okay, I like it too. I've been on Indiana.
Curtis
Obviously, it's,
Signetti, good coach. Good ball.
Yep.
coach.
Yeah,
This is-
unbelievable.
Yeah.
this is the second
Six-
week in a row Indiana has made our team. And
Six inside.
Yep. 6 inside. I like
And
it.
Northwestern's playing at a soccer stadium, so
Are they the one on the lake?
it's a cool view. I don't know if you've seen it. but
Yeah.
They're literally playing in like a soccer
Hey,
stadium.
it's dope. It just you don't want to play there in November. I'm gonna tell you
No,
that.
That's
my
going to be
You
the
do not
wind
want
coming
that.
off the river. It's going to be
There will
or
be
the lake is going to be awful.
the college field goal kickers trying to attempt a field goal, and in that field is going to be miserable.
swirling.
It's just gonna be who's gonna go.
Miserable. Well, nobody's going to go
Well,
anyway.
Jared's apparently well
I mean,
versed
there
because
is
I didn't know
nothing
that
blocking
Indiana
that
and
wind
Northwestern
either.
were rivals, and I don't know how anyone would know that, but he
there-
knew it.
Big rivalry game.
Big rivalry game per Jared Mitchell. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
No. I didn't say it was a big one. I said it's probably somewhat. I mean, there's close states and stuff like that. You probably got some guys on these clubs that know each other well. It's not a big rivalry.
Kinda
game,
like
but
LSU
you got some
Southern Miss.
familiar faces.
Big
I
rivalry.
guarantee.
Yeah.
Border war.
A border war. There you
That's
go.
it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
So this is the team that I want. Lloyd picked this team 3 weeks ago when they were.
I have picked two of these teams.
No, I know Navy.
I see your strategies. I see what you're
Lloyd-
doing.
Lloyd
I
took
cheating off
Navy-
my
Love
paper.
this.
Lloyd took Navy 2 weeks ago when they were 9.5-point dogs and they won by 11. Right, that was at Memphis.
Yeah.
No, at home against Memphis. And Memphis, before the season started, was supposed to be and widely expected to be one of the top group of 5 teams out there, right?
Yeah.
They were supposed to be in the playoff. They were supposed to be this really good team. And Navy beat Memphis 56-44. This ain't the old Navy. This ain't your daddy's Navy.
No.
They score points.
Shout out my guy, OC at Navy, Drew Cronick. I know him.
Ooh,
We're
Drew
good buddies.
Cronick. What a
I
name.
know the
He's
name.
the OC over there. He's a good dude, and they're lighting it up.
Yeah,
Love this
49 points against
Oh,
Bucknell.
Cronick's lighting
Obviously,
it up.
Yeah.
49 against Bucknell, obviously Bucknell. 38 against Temple. 56 against Memphis, which up to this date is the best team they've played. And they put up 41 against UAB. They're 4-0. They're playing really good football. They're at Air Force. I know the at Air Force thing kind of throws a wrench in it. But the over-under is 37 points. I believe that Navy is going to cover that. They may do that themselves.
That's what you're kind of hoping for.
Yeah, right? I think the 37 is going to hit. I do like the spread of this. I think Navy is 8.5 or 9.5 point favorites.
Finally.
But
They were giving up 4 points last week.
I know.
Like I think
They're there.
the betting public is probably a little bit caught on to it. That's why I like the overplay as opposed to the points.
Right.
We've ridden Boston College for 2 weeks. Got off the train. We've ridden Navy now.
I wanted
for
to.
2
I
weeks.
wanted Navy last week too. I didn't take them. I regret that. I'm taking Navy this week. Over
Some
the
would
37.
call that chasing. Not
no,
me though.
No, that's not chasing.
But Mikey, tell him what you said. Both the service academies, not
Both.
no shade against Air Force.
No.
We like the Air Force,
Right.
But
we love the
Lander
Air
C.
Force. We got Paul Skeens from the Air Force. We love the Air Force. Listen. Navy is 4-0. Army is 4-0. They both have to play Notre Dame, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, that's the big challenge. But if for somehow, some way, they end up undefeated, that Army-Navy game at the end of the year is going to be electric. And that's a bucket list, and that would be an unbelievable game to try to attend.
It might save the country.
It could.
It may save the country.
It honest to God might save the country.
Yeah.
Navy, Army, and you said you're going to go. So
I would love to go.
Mic'd
I
up
didn't say
on the
I'm going
road
to go.
at Navy
I would
Army.
love to go. I would love to
December
go.
14th.
So if you want to,
7 days after Pearl Harbor.
if you
a day that'll live in infamy.
if you
right.
want to tail us, it's plus 596. If you want to fade us,
Go for
you
it.
can't take the plus 596, but go for it.
Why don't more countries look at Army and Navy are playing football? We should probably make good time to attack. Like,
Wow. That's
what do you think that?
Well,
though?
here's the deal. I think that the people that are in the positions that they need to be in are probably there still. They're not at the game. I would
you think
imagine.
they would
country doesn't. It's not like small town high school football. The country shuts down.
Close for the Army Navy game.
Yes.
Close
Hey,
for the Army Navy
guy
game.
on that board that makes sure no nukes enter the stratosphere.
He's
Yeah,
your
come on.
kicker.
You go to the game. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that's the case.
Do you think they would all like, run off?
Damn, Lloyd, good God, what's wrong with him?
I'm just saying.
Don't think that's the case.
Oh my
That's okay.
God.
I'm a deep state. I'm gonna
You
move
are.
away and be like, dude, this
You
is the
are.
time to
But
attack.
this game
like
could
Super
save the
Bowl.
country, though.
Yeah, it could.
Yeah, I hope so.
And it's all by itself. No other football games that day.
The eyes of the nation are
Yep.
upon you,
That's it.
Literally.
and other nations.
Man,
Per Lloyd.
great show today, boys. We appreciate you
Awesome.
coming on. Jared, I appreciate you hopping on the show from the movie room. You look great in there. The movie room looks amazing.
Raise boom boom.
How many
room.
rows back
You know,
does it
I
go?
might watch me a nice movie tonight.
How many rows does it go? How many rows back does it go?
We got 2 rows here.
Oh, nice. 3 seats each?
We got a 2x4 here.
Oh, 2
Yeah,
by
2
4.
by 4 here, and I ain't talking about no wood.
Hey, that's nice. I'm happy for you. It looks comfy.
Popcorn maker?
They have cup holders in the seats.
Popcorn maker. That's an elite
big.
experience.
That's big.
Yeah.
And cup holders. Recline, obviously recline. Does it have the foot? Does it have the foot? The foot come out?
Oh, yeah, boys.
This is an elite experience.
I mean,
Slushy
you can-
machine.
You can sleep there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, that's a great place to watch college football, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they didn't sweat. They didn't mess. They didn't lay up here.
I love that. All right. Enjoy.
I'm talking like full LeBron with D Wade in the background. Just
Oh, yeah.
What kind of TV you working with? Or
Oh, it's a
big
pull-down
projector.
screen, no
Oh,
doubt.
gee,
No
right.
doubt projector,
Can't hide
right?
money. Yeah, I mean, that's what
Yeah.
it is, right?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, God.
No doubt.
Yeah.
With the Steelers country on top.
Yeah.
Love that. Good for you.
Yeah,
No wonder he's been out of town so
Hey,
much.
listen.
I'm just a visitor.
I understand why you road tripping to Dallas. No doubt.
Yeah.
Enjoy your weekend there in the beautiful man cave / movie room / football watching mecca. Enjoy everybody who's watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy a stress-free weekend of college football. We'll be back live Monday in studio from 6 to 8 p.m. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all, Bryce, as always. Thank you for coming on the show. You'll have an open invite anytime you want. We're almost done with the studio. We're going to have multiple chairs to where,
Looks awesome.
you know.
Yeah,
thank
Jared,
you.
grab some of those and bring them
Bryce,
over.
you would show up when I'm not there. That's nonsense, dog. Good night.
Well, it's okay. He came here and Lloyd brought a controller to play PlayStation to play the NCAA. And Lloyd didn't bring the console.
Didn't bring the console.
Our wires
so-
got crossed.
So we thought we was just gonna play with thoughts.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
We're gonna,
I thought
we're
he
gonna
would bring it. I
envision
was like, I don't know why I thought he would
Ghost
bring it. I'm
players.
clearly that person to bring it.
Yeah.
He's got a child.
We're gonna envision. It's okay though. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you don't like watching us. You like listening to us or anywhere you get your pods. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Actually, we didn't even do the segments. It's Friday.
Yeah, it's fine. We're already out of
Friday.
here. I do have one curtain
okay.
call.
Yep.
I've never heard this story, but I did confirm it with at least one other source. Clinton Portis's recruitment was much wilder than I remember.
Oh, this
He
is
tells a fantastic story. I don't know how this hasn't made it on my radar. That's right up my alley. But per Clinton Portis, this is quotes. My third visit, I go to Miami, and we in a strip club. Portis said, you know, we got dancers coming. I got a dancer on me. And this motherfucker looked at me and say, are you coming? To which Portis replied, yes. I shook my head yes and tilted my head back. Eyes rolled back. That's the last thing I remember. That might be the last thing he remembers, but it wasn't the only climax of the evening, if you'll pardon the pun. I go to breakfast. I get on the elevator. I'm hungover. And bing, the door opens. One of the coaches walks in and is like, oh, man, congratulations. We heard you committed last night. And he's like, huh? We go down one more floor. The next coach gets on and says, oh, man, congratulations. We were so excited you were here, Portis said. Portis said, took him a few attaboys from the coaches to figure out he had committed to the U. It wasn't Miami. It was the lap dance.
Hey.
I actually saw the video of him telling the story.
Yep.
It's wild. That's wild.
All right, me and Jerry got a dual curtain call. I'm going to do this before we sign off because I think it's worth talking about. You can go on SportsCenter on their Instagram page, and you can find this. I think it's a really cool story. Michigan State's Armarion Smith. He was at Cincinnati, transferred from Cincinnati last year to Michigan State because his mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. His mom passed away. He is the legal guardian of his 3 younger siblings now. He's a sophomore wide receiver at Michigan State, and now he is the legal guardian. There is a GoFundMe that has been started for him, and $250,000 has been raised with a $500,000 goal. I think that is a pretty cool story. This kid's kind of stepping up and raising his siblings and being there for them, and good things need to be praised, and I think that's a really cool story. So, Amarion Smith, congratulations, bro. That's a great thing by you. That's our curtain call.
good stuff.
100%.
All right. Enjoy y'all's weekend. We'll see you on Monday. We love y'all. Peace.